The hangar that we're sitting in right now was actually constructed in 1941 for the support of the British Flying Training Program. You got to remember, in 1941 we weren't in the war yet. Britain was embroiled in a war, and learning how to fly in a war-torn environment, especially in Europe with the weather the way it is, was very tough. They didn't get a lot done. So as the United States, we entered an agreement with the British for training and support. So that meant that places like this were built. There were 6 different states in the United States that were chosen, Arizona being one of them.
The Link Trainer was where these kids first got their first experience with anything to do with flying. Teaching someone to fly in an airplane is dangerous because if they make a mistake, they crash. The Link Trainer was developed by a family that made pipe organs, and they found that the pedals on a pipe organ simulated the rudder controls on an airplane. So this was developed into something that put on a carriage that moves around and supervised by someone at the desk. You put the guy in there and you get all the experience of flying an airplane. And when the British cadets came here, they also were learning to fly in the Link Trainer. This is what got them, so to speak, off the ground.
So the primary trainer for a person learning how to be a pilot in World War II, right behind me here, the Silver Stearman, built by Boeing. Boeing built over 10,000 of these things for entry into World War II. They're basically wood wire and fabric, an underpowered, fairly difficult airplane to get off the ground and back onto the ground, so it was great as a primary trainer. The theory was that if you could learn how to fly a Stearman, you could learn how to fly anything going forward. The students, typical British cadet, came over to the United States, a zigzag pattern on a steamship to New York, and then a train across the country. And you've got to imagine what a young British kid on a train traveling across the United States ending up in Apache Junction in 1941. What an experience that would be. It would have been like an alien encounter, basically. Rationing and war efforts all over the place in England. However, we were land of the free here with oranges everywhere and basically anything you ever wanted. And then 115, 120 degrees when you stepped off the airplane in July. So it was a bit of a shocker to be a British kid to step off the train in Mesa, Arizona. Their first flying lesson would have been in the Stearman right behind me. Considering that many of these kids never drove a car, their first experience operating a machine was the tractor on the farm, and most times that was behind a horse. So this was the first piece of machinery that a young cadet ever operated in their life. So once they mastered the Stearman, which as far as systems and controls is very rudimentary, they would advance to the AT, the advanced trainer, the AT-6 Texan. They went from 220 horsepower. In a single leap, they went up to 600 horsepower. A complicated propeller that was constant speed, hydraulic systems with landing gear that went up and down, and hydraulic flight controls as well. So it was really a big move to go from wood wire and fabric to one of the highest performance airplanes of its time. So after graduating the British Flying Training Program, they would have been sent back to where they came from and assigned a job, whether you're going to be a bomber pilot or you're going to go fly fighters.
History is a pretty dull subject in a book. When it comes to life, like you see it here at the museum, it takes on a whole new composure, complex, and level of excitement. As you look at these airplanes, first of all, remember, especially with the World War II generation, it was young boys, barely out of high school, who were suddenly climbing into these things and flying off to places they'd never heard of before. So as you look at these things, you see a lot of human stories coming alive before your eyes. Unlike many other places, we have no cordons or ropes around them. You can come right up and get intimate with these aircraft, take a look inside some. Some you can even buy rides on and take a flight that you'll never ever forget. So many things to see and understand here. Our mission is to educate, inspire, and honor. Educate meaning tell you about all these things, inspire you to perhaps learn some more, and honor our veterans. That is our primary purpose, honor everyone who served their country.